Alright, so today is Sunday, September 4th, 2022, and we have the Tesla stock chart pulled up. We're looking at the chart from market open to market close. As we can see, it was a bearish day. We could have gotten into a bearish trade, into a put at the beginning of when the market opened. As we can see over here, if we zoom into this, the pre-market was looking bullish. However, the market did turn around and it was bearish entry into a put right around here. Could have stayed in it. I probably would have stayed in it until either it crosses over our line over here or as it was coming up. So taking me personally, I might have exited the trade around here, which would have been fine, completely fine, or I might have held on to it, closed out of it over here. For those of the people that like to wait until it actually crosses over our line, they would have probably taken it out over here. That would have been profitable. For the rest of the day, they entered into a trade, and if they stuck with the market for the entire day, if they had entered into a trade around 12 o'clock and held on to it for the rest of the day, for the remaining 4 hours, they would have been deeply in profit, because the price dropped from $277 to $270. Keep in mind that that is only a $7 difference. However, one option contract is equal to 100 shares, and that would have been pretty good. So that's Tesla. Looking at the market, let's hop over and look at SPY, the S&P on Friday. We see it over here, pre-market all the way to the end of the day. Market starts off in a bearish trend, changes to bullish, and ends off in a bearish trend. So these trades, you might have taken a little loss over here if you didn't have the right trading psychology, if you didn't close out of your trades. Remember that we want to either have small losses, break evens, or big profits. We never want to enter into a trade and hold it in hopes that it will turn around. Take, for example, if I entered into a long over here and I realized that it was going down, and I had hopes that it would turn around, so I just stayed in the trade because I didn't want to take a small loss. That small loss can turn into a larger loss. So it's better to have a small loss than to hope that the candlesticks will turn around and that you will have a better day. So as we can see over here, entering into a short on the confirmation, crossing the line, the price drops from $399 close to $400 to $390. That was the low of the day, and like I said just a few seconds ago, one contract is equal to 100 shares. So with that $10 difference, you do the math, that would have been a very good trade and a very good day. So in case you're wondering why the chart looks like this, I'm actually looking at the chart on a different software. I still have my old software, but right now I'm looking at it on a different software. I'm looking at other indicators that we have, and I'm just basically getting a feel for this. Now, this software, I like to trade using this software. I personally like to trade off of my phone while looking at the chart, just because it's easier for me to move my fingers around and easier for me to place those trades. But a lot of people like to use the computer to place those trades as well. So with that being said, let's look at one more ticker symbol. Let's look at Shopify. Shopify over here. Shopify is a big it's huge. You can make a lot, you can make a little, you can make a lot, or you can lose a lot with Shopify. So you have to be wary of how you trade, what you trade. You can make a lot or a little bit, or lose a lot or lose a little bit with any ticker symbol. So it really comes down to just knowing when to exit a trade, knowing when to accept losses, knowing how to trade, having the right psychology, and being okay with taking losses and knowing how to stay in a trade until you win, until you until at the right moment, and then staying in a winning trade and closing out at the right moment. So all of that comes into play. Many people, a few common mistakes that I see is the one that I just mentioned about hoping that the price will turn around in a bearish or a bullish trend. Another common mistake that I see is taking profits too early. Take, for example, if somebody were to enter into a trade and the profit, they made up to $100 in that trade. That's fine and all, but they could have made a lot more if they had stayed in the trade, and just knowing when to close out. So when do you actually close out of a trade? When do you exit a winning trade? There are many ways to identify a good exiting point. I identify when to exit a point. Let's just zoom out of this market. Let's go on to the 30-minute chart. Take, for example, over here, as we can see the support and the resistance levels. Take, for example, over here, those levels over here. Just knowing how to read the market the right way, basing that off of other time frames, basing that off of other indicators, just having a general feel for the market, and that comes with experience and that comes with mentorship. So with that being said, that's it for the week. This was just Friday. We were looking at Tesla, we were looking at Shopify, and we were looking at the S&P 500. All would have been profitable if you knew what you were doing. Could have lost as well if you didn't know what you were doing. So it really comes down to just experience, trial and error, and developing the confidence through either simulated trading, not trading with real money, and just getting to a point where you feel comfortable enough to invest your money so that you can earn more. Keep in mind that there are taxes on your capital gains, and that if you do make a profit, which you probably will, I do have faith in you, if you do make a profit, it would be a good idea not to spend everything, to keep it in the bank account, because you will have to pay taxes on those at the end of the year. Now, tax laws vary in different states. If you live in New York, it will be different in comparison to if you live in Florida. If you live in Puerto Rico, it would be different than if you were to live in California. So that wraps that up. That's it for this week, September 4th, 2022. SPY, Tesla, and Shopify.